What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're all doing well today. Today I'm excited to bring you my full review of the Sencut Watauga. What we'll be doing today is going into the knife specs for this one. We'll be doing some size comparisons, and then we'll go ahead and jump into my thoughts and impressions. All right, first up, the Watauga has a 3.48 inch D2 steel blade, 4.51 inch handles. This one has the micarta handles, 7.99 inches overall in length, and claimed weight is 3.37 ounces. Let's go ahead and grab the scale, bring that in, and check the 3.37 weight. Yep, 3.4. Yeah, I can understand that. The scale rounding up a little bit. Actually, I'm sorry, 3.7. It's coming in lighter. Yeah, 3.7. I thought I said 3.37. It's saying 3.7, so it's actually coming in lighter. Really nice to see that. Let's go ahead and put the scale aside. We're going to get some knives out here to do some size comparisons. First up, we're going to go ahead and bring out the Demco AD 20.5 and the Spyderco Shaman. So you can see this one here is more closer in size to the Shaman, so more of a full-size knife and less of an EDC size like the Demco AD 20.5. Let me get these two out of the way, and we'll go ahead and bring out a couple other comparison knives to help you with the size reference. First, we're going to bring out the Benchmade Bug Out, and then we'll go ahead and bring out the Hogue Sig K320. And as you can see, this one is more close and almost exactly the same size. Yeah, it's the same size as the Hogue, so definitely more of a fuller sized knife. All right, let me move the Hogue and the Benchmade Bug Out of the way. We got a couple budget knives for comparison here. First, we got the Civivi Conspirator. As you can see, that's the same size as the Conspirator. And then we have the Raccoon, and the Raccoon is going to be just a little bit smaller. Very similar profile, though, as these two knives. Let me get these out of the way, and then we'll go ahead and jump into my thoughts and impressions. All right, let's jump into thoughts and impressions. First, we're going to talk about the ergos on this knife. This has a very thin handle, and it definitely has some unique lines to it that really do kind of affect, for me personally, the ergonomics. First, because I'm thinking of the Sencut Saxi, I think I like that one a little bit better. It has a fuller handle, very similar to what you saw with the Conspirator that was out here a little while ago. So it fits my hand a little bit better. But keep that in mind, my perspective is from a larger sized hand, so that might not affect you if you have medium to large size hands. Now, it's not to say that it's uncomfortable. I definitely think it would be okay to use. I don't think it would be a hot spot whatsoever. I even think the little ramp down on the pocket clip really has helped prevent this from kind of poking into the hand. Really nice jimping back here for the thumb to land on, and you have a finger choil here that you can, for me, get the first knuckle into, so that detailed work would be nice. I'd even say that you could probably go in front of the jimping a little bit for that detailed work out on the tip, and then nice place to land the finger pad on for those draw cuts and those utility cuts that you might be doing with this knife. Micarta on here is really actually quite nice. I remember the Saxi, I thought the same thing. For this price point, coming in at what, under 50 bucks? Really nice micarta on here, all blacked out hardware, looking really good. Your liners are milled out here as well, so you have weight reduction going on the inside, and then they continue all of the black hardware here. Minimal branding for that D2 steel that's on the blade here. Black washed. I think they could have washed it a little bit more, but it doesn't look awful. Minimal branding with the Sencut. They don't have it anywhere else on the knife, so I'm okay with that. Nice thin blade too. Really thin profile. This thing does slice really nicely, and it does go through the cardboard quite easily. I really like the action on this one. Now, give me 1 second.
A few moments later.
Because I do want to grab a piece of cardboard. With all the controversy going on with some button locks, I've had my Kaiser Begleiter XL and the Raccoon fail on the tap. So we're going to test the tap here on the spine. I'm going to hold it It's a little hard to hold this one on the back. I'm gonna hold it back here in case it does break so that it doesn't slice me when I'm testing it. So two nice little taps here. And just for reference, because I haven't put the spring in here on the raccoon, so on one, it broke the detent. I am waiting for the spring to come in to see if it fixed that. But as far as I can tell on this knife here, Civivi does a bang up job with their lock. So let me move this cardboard out of the way and we'll talk about the action on here. So you do have ceramic bearings in the pivot. They are caged, but it is a hollow cage. You have the fuller for the reverse flick, which I really do prefer for the launch. And then Civivi, as always, does a fantastic job with their flipper tab, whether you like to push button or whether you like to light switch, which I think the light switch is a little bit easier. I feel more resistance doing the light switch is a little more uncomfortable for me. Action is very smooth, falls shut, guillotine falls shut. Just a hint of lock stick going on as well. I'm so used to a hint of lock stick that I almost don't notice it until when it comes time to do these reviews. The edge from the factory was really good. I think I mentioned it slices very well, cuts very well. I think D2 heat treat is 59 to 61, which is fine for D2, should not be an issue at all. You're going to get really, really good edge retention, but it is not going to be corrosive resistant. So the coating on here is going to go a long way. For me, I think the black and the green is a really nice color combo, and the lockup on it is really nice too. I don't know if it'll focus. Going to be really hard to see, but one of the things that I like that they started doing is they started getting rid of the coating that they were putting on the locks, and that piece in there, come on, focus camera, focus without letting me cut myself, there you go. They smoothed out where the lock actually engages, so that helps with eliminating the lock stick. But also with the coating being gone, I think it helps the metal kind of grab onto itself for the locking. Now for this particular knife, if you don't like the Saxy and you think that it's boring, this is definitely going to be a little bit more stylish, I would say. But for me, and I wish I still had my Saxy, I did a giveaway where I gave that one away, but it's going to be a little bit more of a drop point versus the Warncliffe style, and then you're going to have just a very nice rounded neutral handle, kind of like what you see here on the Conspirator that I had out here earlier. So these are kind of close, but the Saxy I think actually has a little bit more curve in the handle if I remember correctly, and I think it might have just a little bit more height to that handle. I really like the Saxy, for me personally, more than I do on the Sencut Watauga. As far as alternative recommendations, I mean, really, the Saxy is going to be kind of what I recommend alternatively. If it is a little too big for you, then I am going to bring the Raccoon back out here. Yes, it can be broken fairly easy from the detent. I am waiting for the spring to come in so I can do a follow-up on that. But honestly, when I'm cutting with this knife, I'm pushing through cuts. You know, I'm opening packages, cutting string. I'm not really doing anything that's going to cause it to accidentally hit, and really just light taps aren't really going to cause it to break. You really do have to put a lot of pressure for the lock to break, so I'm not concerned about that, but I can understand how someone could be concerned about that. Overall, would I recommend this knife? I would if you prefer the edge retention for D2, which is not going to be as tough and corrosive resistant as 9CR, but 9CR is not going to hold an edge as long, and also the styling factors that I mentioned earlier. All in all though, the build quality is fantastic. The materials that you're getting for this knife and the budget steel are really, really good. The pocket clip works really well. The hardware is all T8. Even the hardware on this side, when you go to install here, I didn't test that yet. So when I go to do the disassembly for this, I will report back on if that's T8. It's a little hard for me to tell, but it looks like they might be putting T6 in there for the pocket clip versus the T8 hardware that's everywhere else on the knife. So if you're interested in that review, if you're interested in that disassembly, make sure that you are liked and subscribed to the channel. Thank you to everyone out there that is regularly leaving the likes, the comments, and is already subscribed. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you have a fantastic week, and until next time, peace